Hi book besties, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are seeing my face for the first time, hi, my name is Maya and I like to talk about books here on the internet. You guys, it is finally happening. I am finally playing Final FMC again, and I am so happy. And I am very happy with the TBR that I actually got. Spoiler alert, I am filming this intro after I had already done the gameplay, so I already know what books I am going to be showing you guys for the final TBR. You guys, I am so excited. I am actually like giddy, shaking in my seat. So we're just gonna go straight into the gameplay. First off, we're gonna be playing Final FMC by Bo's Books here on YouTube. If you guys don't know what this game is, this is where you kind of create your own storyline for your TBR. You choose your final girl, you choose the killer, and then you move across the board and you kind of create a storyline of how you are hopefully going to escape your killer and your killer TBR. Let us roll a die and determine our final girl and our killer. So we're gonna roll. Okay, we have a 2. So for our final girls, we're gonna ex-nay the good girl as one of our choices. So 1, 2, we have the goth. Have I had her before? I don't think I have. Yay, we get a new one. I'm excited, okay. Her quote, "I'm not afraid of the dark." Prompt, add a gothic horror. Well, I don't have any of those. Or, there we go, book with witchy or occult vibes. That's mildly concerning for me because I'm gonna have to really stretch this. When you say witchy vibes, I'm just gonna go with even light witchy vibes. So with that in mind, wait, actually, hold up. I don't even really have to stretch this. I could use The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune as my pick because, spoiler alert, one of the characters is supposedly, allegedly, the Antichrist. Her perk is Comfort in Darkness. When you add a book with a black cover to your TBR, you can add 1 location to your hand for free. This final girl can have 2 locations per game. Oh, I love this. I absolutely love this. If I don't, we'll see what happens, but I'm just not going to assign a specific book as of right now. I think that's okay. So, all right, so that is at the top of my head as we roll the die now for the killer. 2, okay, this game is gonna love 2s. I don't know what that's gonna mean for me at the end of this, but we'll find out. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, hold up. The mime is out. So we don't have the nightmare. We actually have the ghost for our pick. For our prompts, we can add a supernatural or paranormal book to your TBR. Oh. Okay. Add a folk horror book to your TBR. Okay, I don't even know what that genre is. So there's that. And then prompt 3, add a book to your TBR that deals with grief or loss. You know what? I'm gonna go with prompt number 3, and for that one, I am going to be choosing The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a Christmas Carol retelling, but a more modern setting, and this definitely deals with grief and loss and all of the elements that are involved with that, especially around a holiday season. And we can officially start the gameplay, and we're gonna roll our die again. Okay, a 1. Oh, love that for us. So we have our little squirrely. You guys, our next piece is a weapon space, and why I'm so happy about this is because instead of using one of the killer prompts, we can pick up the weapon and we could read that book in place of the killer prompt when we need to, attack or anything like that. Okay, I actually really like this. So we're gonna just roll the die again. Okay, 4. Actually, I think I need a larger die for this. Hold up. Okay, there we go. There we go. I should be better at tech than I am. Wow. All right. The first weapon is a special agent. We love. And the special agent's prompt is to add a book to your TBR where the MC is in law enforcement. Hear me out. The very loose translation of that for me would be The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. But then I would need to redo the witchy prompt or the occult prompt, of the which I could put the Hobbit manga that I have yet to still complete reading in that place. So I think that's what we're gonna do. 3, 1, 2, 3, a puzzle piece, and that is the killer prompt! Oh my goodness, this TBR is so nice to me. I'm going to add a supernatural or paranormal book to my TBR. I don't know if this is gonna be a stretch or not. You can let me know in the comments, but maybe The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, because I believe within this book there is the element of being able to talk to the dead, and the school that the Raven Boys are attending being like an element of the dead but undead world. Could that work? And then the second is the Lord of the Reeds 1.0, and it's literally only called Lord of the Reeds, but I call it 1.0 because the 2.0 version is in existence. And the way that I like to describe the lore of this game that was created by Sylvia from Library Unbounded was that you play the 1.0 version, which is a Monopoly style like board. You just roll your die, go around the board. Each space gives you a prompt for a different type of fun, unique way to kind of gamify your reading and give you prompts to maybe help you move along with your reading as well. And if you land on a special space, there's only one of these, but if you land on one of these special space tiles, it's called the missions tile, you get to choose one of the numbers on the map and you get to collect the Lord of the Rings company. And with those characters, you then move into the 2.0 version of the lore where you use one of them as a companion to travel through from the starting point to a hidden tower in the mountains, and you get to go there every single month, and you have to traverse through the wilds, and along the way there's certain prompts, certain obstacles, certain like little hidden treasures and gems if you look hard enough. Let's play! And we're just gonna roll the die and hope we land on the mission card. Because I want another member of the Lord of the Rings! 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, just a regular random space. Okay, that's the bookshelf jar. Y'all already know I don't have any specified jars for any specified anything. Basically, those types of prompts are just all of my physical and audio TBR that I own, and or it could stretch to the library, but I'm gonna keep the library and the bookstore as the library and bookstore spaces. So let's see. Do I want to expand the pool of possibilities, or do I want to keep it contained? I'm just gonna expand. I'll say that I will expand the pool with Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, because that was a book that I wanted to complete for my Aurelium Academy experience and for my character, and I just did not get there. So that book. Next roll. It is a 4. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh boy. We have the prompt cards. Whee! Darn it. Alrighty. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. It's not fine. 8. Who did these prompts? Number 8, a collection of short stories. No. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I wouldn't even know where to go. That's the thing. It's not a bad prompt. It's just I have nothing. And like no idea of what I would even want to read, even if I had said book or access to it. That's the thing. All right, so 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am right now. I forget which one has Pippin because we already have Pippin, but I forget which number I chose. So, screw it. Let's just do 9. We got Frodo. I don't know. Like I am you guys, I cannot explain how giddy I am right now, but this is amazing. Okay, the little blurb here is, my heart is heavy on this day. For you, for the burden you carry, for the struggle ahead of you. Would that I could take it away. But the history has been written, and the destiny has been woven. And if we live to see another sunrise, your name shall float on every whisper and take a root in every heart. I do not pity you, my friend, yet to think of you is sorrow. For yours is the fate to walk the darkest path. Oh my goodness. Do I need to read The Lord of the Rings? Because this quote is gonna make me cry. I tried to save the Shire, and it has been saved, but not for me. The emotional 180s. Why did that hit so hard? I can't even go into why that hit so hard, but like you guys can already tell, it hit. It's just like, I go from so excited I can barely speak that I got the freaking mission card and then like just one little quote. Got me all crying, it's fine. Anyways, Walking the Darkest Path, read the lowest rated book on your TBR. Listen, Linda. I had such a fun time with this round of both games. If you could not tell, just based off of my reactions, I had a great, amazing time, and I am so excited to have landed on that stinking missions tile. That is the second time I have landed on this tile in so many months, so many rounds of gameplay. It's actually kind of ridiculous at this point. So I am very excited to have landed on a missions tile, and I'm even more excited to give you this month's TBR because I genuinely think that I will be able to actually complete it in a way where it's relaxing, enjoyable, non-stressful, and I don't have any schooling this month. Yay, because I finished it at the beginning of the month. So the first week and a half-ish, I would say, of this month, I had to do exam prep, study for exams, actually take the exams, do a few projects, and then also we had some ceremonies and other things going on. So it's really been a time and a thing over here with school. So now all of that is completely over. We are winding down. We are heading into the summer months, and I had played the game late, but I've already started reading at the beginning of the month, and I just determined within myself that this month I was going to be nice to myself. I was going to really focus on some rollover reads that I just wanted to complete, because a lot of the books that I have that are being rolled over from previous months are books I want to finish, but for some reason when I get into a new month I automatically think reset, can't choose those books. But in reality, yes, you can. First of all, there's no rule against it in either of the two games that I'm playing. But then, two, the whole point of these games and to gamify your reading is to encourage you and motivate you to continue in your physical TBR. And if you just didn't finish some books and you are very excited to complete it, you don't have to put on added stress of like saying, oh, I have to finish this on top of a separate TBR. No. Let's encourage just choosing those books for the prompt of that TBR, because guess what? You finished that book in that month. Doesn't matter that you finished 98% of it in the previous month. The 2% that you did finish that book, and you were planning on reading that book anyway, and typically, more often than not, you had it on the last month's TBR, or the month before that, or the month before that. So why not just put it on the TBR, right? And just feel good and accomplished with getting through your TBR in a way where you don't feel pressured or like it's a task that you need to complete and check off a list. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's a whole other side tangent, but I just really wanted to promote this month the idea of reading rollover books as my actual TBR, because there are so many books that I want to read that just will not fit into certain types of readathons, and specifically certain types of competitive readathons that are about to come up, because it's only fair when you go into competitive team-based reading that, you know, you start your book and you end your book, or you have a specific percentage that isn't read and you read during that time. And there's a whole setup and structure for that. So it's only fair to go into next month, which is going to be the Amazing Readathon, which is based loosely off of the Amazing Race, or that was the initial idea, and then it just kind of became its own thing, according to the creator herself. And so with that type of readathon, you can't really, one, prepare a TBR, or two, go into it with 98% of a book read. So I just thought, why not roll over some of the books that could still count for points in this month's readathon, escape the readathon, in terms of pages, and help my team. If you're hearing any noises in the background, that's my mother. It's better to do it now than to do it later. So I have a little bit of a rollover read kind of TBR going on here. Firstly, for final FMC, I had decided that for my final girl prompt, the witchy occult prompt, I was going to go with The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, because it does feature a wizard in it. Plus, the storyline itself is fantastical, magical, features almost in occult-like type of obsession with a particular element that goes on into further series within the book. I'm trying to be very vague just in case no one has read The Hobbit yet and accidentally comes across this video. But yeah, this is the book that I've chosen, and this is the manga rendition, illustrated by David Wenzel, adapted by Charles Dickson, and I'll read the back of the book for the summary per usual. The Hobbit is the story of Bilbo Baggins, a quiet and contented hobbit whose life is turned upside down when he joins the wizard Gandalf and 13 dwarves on their quest to reclaim stolen treasure. It is a journey fraught with danger, and in the end, Bilbo alone must face the guardian of this treasure, the most dreaded dragon in all of Middle-earth. J.R.R. Tolkien's enchanting prelude to The Lord of the Rings is one of the best-loved books of all time, carefully abridged and beautifully painted. David Wenzel's graphic novel has become a best-selling classic in its own right, and a delight to Hobbit fans old and new. I decided for the killer prompt, which I believe the prompt was prompt number 3 add a book to your TBR that talked about grief or loss, I decided I was going to go with The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This actually has many a purpose. I wanted to read this because I had started reading it all the way in January. I also wanted to read this because I wanted to kind of have a take on the classic of this book and the modern retelling alongside of the movie adaptation. And I kind of wanted to maybe start gathering together all of my thoughts and be able to articulate that in kind of a classic versus retelling versus movie adaptation kind of discussion. It really wouldn't be a versus. It'll just be me discussing each individual thing and what I loved about it, maybe what I didn't like about it, the cultural, social impact as a whole about the entire storyline, and just other random ramblings alongside of that. So in order to do that, I needed to read the classic, which I did in January, and then, you know, maybe rewatch the adaptation and get another reread and another eye on this book again. So that's another thing I wanted to do. Yet another thing that I wanted to do is I am doing a year-long readathon called the Buzzword Challenge, and one of the prompts, and I believe it's the January prompt, not gonna lie, is read a book with a title that has before or after in it. So The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. So multiple purposes all around for reading this book. So let's get into the summary. You know how the story goes, right? There's this old banker type named Ebenezer Scrooge who shuffles around saying, "Bah humbug." The tone of this is just sending me, especially when you read this book and you get the tone throughout the entire book. It just sends you in such an interesting direction. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop. One Christmas Eve, he's visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. In the morning, he wakes up, like, completely terrified and says to himself, "This is my chance. I can change my future." Then he supposedly lives happily ever after. It's a nice story, but that's not how it happened for me. Then we continue to roll, and actually the next book was supposed to be the first book for my final FMC prompt, but then we switched it because I needed to add a book to my TBR that had some version of law enforcement for me to get the weapon to attack the killer with, which essentially took off one of the killer's prompts that I needed to read so that I could read this prompt, and I decided to go with The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is yet another rollover book. Oh, by the way, let me show you guys how interesting this is. Rollover book. See, I really got in my rollover reads this month. I was gonna say today, this month. So this actually has a main character in it that I believe loosely, when translated, could be considered to be a part of law enforcement. Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. There you go. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children... Oh, I think I read that wrong. Hold up. I confused myself. Let me go back. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. When Linus arrives at the strangest of islands, he's greeted by a series of mysterious figures, the greatest mystery of which is Arthur Parnassus, the master of the orphanage. As Linus and Arthur grow closer, Linus discovers the master would do anything to keep the children safe, even if it means the world has to burn. Or worse, his secret comes to light. Now, here's the thing, and I still haven't gotten to this point in the book yet. If you're willing to let the world burn as an option, What secret do you have, sir, that makes that look like, I don't know, unicorns and rainbows? That's all I want to know. And that's what I want to figure out. But also, I've been having such a time with this book that, quite frankly, I just want to sit with the relationships and with the characters, because there is this one child who, if anything bad happens to this kid, ooh, it's about to go down. I don't know how it's going to go down, but something's about to go down. The House in the Cerulean Sea is an enchanting love story, masterfully told about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place and realizing that family is yours. That makes me so happy because I know a lot of the story. I'm like about 50% of the way through, and that makes me so happy. It really does, because our MMC does really deserve that for himself, and I actually root for that for him, because even though he is misguided in a way that's not his fault. Like, he has the best of intentions, he has such a good heart, and I know that when he finally asks the right questions, gets the right answers, is able to sit with himself for a little bit, he will make the right choices, and he will be what we need him to be by the end of it. I know it. So I think that whatever ending this has that allows the summary to say that at the very end, I am all here for it, for our MMC. So, yes. Then we had, last but not least, for our final FMC game, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This was to fulfill a prompt of the killer, actually, and that was to add a book to our TBR that featured some type of ghost or supernatural entity. I thought that this counted. Let me read the back of the book, and then you can tell me if this also counts. If it doesn't, I'm not too worried, because I think I'll be able to read the other books and I will be able to keep my lives. But anyways, let's read the back of the book, shall we? This quote sends me every single time. There are only two reasons a non-seer would see a spirit on St. Mark's Eve. Either you're his true love, or you killed him. Yes, I would think so. I would think you should be able to see the damage that you have done. Every year, Blue Sargent stands next to her clairvoyant mother as the soon-to-be-dead walks past. Blue never sees them until this year, when a boy emerges from the dark and speaks to her. Wait, holy mercy, hang on a second. It's like I'm reading this for the first time. I have read this to you guys before, but it's like I'm reading this for the first time. Soon to be dead. Okay, so not actual ghost. However, hold up. Are we talking like interim entities? Or are we talking like you're about to be, like you're alive currently, but you're about to be gone? Like for real, for real. Or, because clairvoyancy, I'm guessing it is the interim. Either way, it is supernatural. But is it a ghost? I don't know. But then again, the prompt said a supernatural entity and or ghost specifically. I mean, our killer is the ghost, so I'm trying to go for ghost vibes, if anything, but okay. Anyone who's actually read this book, let me know, like, does this count as, like, ghost? Or some type of spirit? Like, are we talking interim plane here? Is that not the same thing? Okay, I have so many questions. All right, never mind. Blue never sees them until this year, when a boy emerges from the dark and speaks to her. His name is Gainsey, and he's a rich student at Aglionby, the local private school. Blue has a policy of staying away from Aglionby boys, known as Raven Boys. They can only be in trouble. Hold on. If it's a local school and they're soon to be dead, this must mean that they're technically alive. So they're not supernatural entities yet. They are literally just random. Okay, hold up. Okay. Question for all audience members without spoiling the book for me or the series itself. Does this count either in this book or in any book after this within the series that is published? Would this count as a supernatural entity and or ghost type of story? Comment a little ghost emoji if that do be the case. Because I am so confused. I'm confusing myself. This may be like straightforward logic to literally anyone else, but right now I am very confused. But Blue is drawn to Gainsey in a way she can't entirely explain. He is on a quest that has encompassed 3 other Raven boys. Adam, the scholarship student who resents the privilege around him. Love you. Ronan, the fierce soul whose emotions range from anger to despair. Yes, anger is an emotion. Okay. And Noah, the taciturn watcher who notices many things but says very little. Somehow that may be my book boyfriend. Anywho, for as long as she can remember, Blue has been warned that she will cause her true love to die. She doesn't believe in true love and never thought this would be a problem, but as her life becomes caught up in the strange and sinister world of the Raven boys, she's not so sure anymore. Oh dang, she's just killing multiple guys. All right, sounds good. Well, that's that. I think that counts. You let me know in the comments if it doesn't. And then we further played on and we got to the Lord of the Reeds 1.0. Now this one was interesting because the first roll obviously got us onto the bookshelf jar space, and that just means I choose a book of my choice from my physical or audio TBR, and I chose Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is a book that I wanted to do for my Aurelium Magical Readathon TBR. Did not get to it, but we can still have it on the shelf. And this one, oh, I thought it was on the cover. Oh, it's on the inside. Okay, because I just saw the back of the book and I was like, well, that's the shortest summary in existence, but I could read it. When you've been set up to lose everything you love, what is there left to fight for? Whoa. Well, that gets deep. I mean, that's a sentence, that's a question. And it's very much a hopeless one, but I think it's a valid one because I'm sure there are moments where we feel that. But dang, if this alone is gonna do that for me, I can only imagine the rest of this book, but here's the summary. Let's read it. As the day dawns on the 50th annual Hunger Games, fear grips the districts of Panem. This year, in honor of the Quarter Quell, that's right, the Quarter Quell, oh my gosh, hold up, he got, I guess for lack of a better word, drafted at the Quarter Quell? How did I forget that detail? Okay, hold up. This year, in honor of the Quarter Quell, twice as many tributes will be taken from their homes. Back in District 12, Hamish Abernathy is trying not to think too hard about his chances. All he cares about is making it through the day and being with the girl he loves. Oh, no, no. No, because we didn't see anyone. We didn't see anyone with him. so many awful scenarios that just went through my mind at that. No. No. No, okay, now I'm sad. Hold up. When Haymitch's name is called, he can feel all of his dreams break. He's torn from his family and his love, shuttled to the capital with the 3 other District 12 tributes. A young friend who's nearly a sister to him. Crap. A compulsive odds maker and the most stuck-up girl in town. That's not funny. It's like of all of the sad things, and then just the most stuck-up girl in town. That's crazy. As the games begin, Haymitch understands he's been set up to fail, but there's something in him that wants to fight, and have that fight reverberate far beyond the deadly arena. Okay, so I'm gonna be so for real with you guys. There was a point last month, I believe, where I tried to start reading this book and like make an entire reading vlog surrounding this book. I sat down to intro it, or rather like give my first initial thoughts before I read this book, etc., etc. You know how I do in my vlogs. I like to sit down, I like to give my thoughts on the summary and like my initial idea of the book going in, so that as I continue to read and my thoughts are being either confirmed or like tossed out because of what actually goes on in the book, I like to document the entire process, especially when it's a one book focused type of reading vlog. I especially like to do that on my TikTok page, so it's a thing for me. I cannot tell you how many takes I had to try to succinctly talk about this world, talk about this book, and I didn't even read the summary. Reading this summary has me wanting to rant, wanting to rage, wanting to share everything that this world has me thinking in this moment. I'm not going to do that because that will be too much time and this is not the video. However, be prepared for me to have something to say about this book prior to me even reading the book. Listen, I will probably have an hour-long feature-length film podcast-length type video just on my thoughts on the book and on this world and kind of my journey with the world, because I think it is important. It goes beyond just this book. It goes beyond the initial series that gave us this book. It just goes beyond. And I think it's worth talking about. I think it's worth getting into. This is what I love about the bookish world. I love when worlds go beyond themselves and make us really look at ourselves, look at others, look at society, and really question what is going on and what we think and what we feel about it and what we're gonna do about it if we feel some type of way. So I want to really get into this book now, and I know that this book is gonna wreck me. Will I even get to it this month? I don't know, because we're already halfway through the month and this video still hasn't even been uploaded to y'all. But just know this is a thing that I am thinking of about doing, and that video will have to obviously come out before I start reading it, so hopefully we'll get at least that video done and out of the way so that we can actually start reading and absorbing. And that way too, the reading vlog for this book will literally be just about this book. I know it goes beyond itself and it has an entire series that's surrounding all of the things about it, but I do think that enough time has gone by, and I'm not going to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I have my own reasons for not entertaining that book at all whatsoever, and I will gladly talk about it, and I will gladly put that rant into that video. But I think that this book deserves its own separate reading experience where from start to finish we just focus solely on Haymitch and his story. This world brings up a lot for me. The things that are being mentioned, that brings up a lot for me about this world. So I think it's only fair that I do all of that separately and then come to this book as the book is and do my reading vlog on that. But just know that this world brings up a lot to mind, so I will definitely be really going in on the world and then really just enjoying this book, especially because I don't know if any other books are coming out, and this is the only side quest book that I will actually read outside of the OG original trilogy. Then we landed on a space that I just absolutely refused to do, which was the prompt card space. Because the prompt was freaking read a book with short stories in it, and I have nothing on my physical TBR that I can think of that I haven't already read and want to reread. I have no thought process or ideal on the horizon that has come my way in terms of recommendations. And I don't want to really read a collection of short stories at the moment. I'm kind of ready for bigger books because I've been reading a lot of manga and novellas and poetry. We'll talk about that in my April wrap-up. But, you know, I've been reading a lot of short works, so I'm ready. I'm ready to take on a bigger, chunkier book. So we're just throwing that prompt out the window, but then we freaking landed on the mission space. This mission card prompt may be the actual literal physical death of me because it is to read your lowest rated book on your TBR. Okay, so funny story. Of the which you guys already know about. I am moving back in with my mother. Okay, I'm moving back in with my mom, and I still have a lot of my stuff at my apartment because we just figured this out not even a couple weeks ago that I'm going to be moving back because of some physical health issues. And so we're doing all of the things and all of the arrangements. You know, a lot of people have travel plans right now, and I have like just settling down, getting my health plan together. So there's a lot going on in everyone's world that is going to help me to be able to actually like fully move into this place. So with that being said, I don't have all of my physical books with me currently, and while I could go to my apartment and spend hours creating a digital footprint that I haven't even started building and or creating and have not updated, etc., I just decided that I'm probably going to do something kind of abnormal for this, but I think it'll still count, and I hope you guys still count it. Even if you don't, respectfully, I do not care. I am counting it anyway because I really just don't have any other way to do this at the current present moment. And this whole entire thing is to make reading fun, not make reading stressful. So with that goal in mind of not making reading stressful, I have decided that I'm just gonna go onto Goodreads and just in any of these three categories, fantasy, sci-fi, historical fiction, look up the lowest rated on the TBR. I'll go through different ones, read their descriptions, and genuinely choose a book that I think I will personally like just based off of the summary. I will ignore the ratings. I'll act like the ratings do not exist, except for the fact that I will choose the lowest rated one, pick that book, and then see if I can get that on audio, see if I have that physically, see if I can get it from the library. But the first one that catches my attention, I will select. So that's how I want to do that. And that was it for my gameplay. So that'll be fun, and that is that. That is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for taking the time out of your day to do so. I will leave linked down below the 2 channels that I have mentioned and their TBR games. Also as well, I will be leaving the links to all of my social media, the various and sundry ones. I won't go through the laundry list. Y'all can just search for yourselves down there if you feel so inclined. And if you feel so inclined to stick around and join our little community here, feel free to leave a like on this video first to let me know that you guys like stuff like this, and then subscribe if you so choose. It's free 99 for you for all time, which I think is a great and amazing deal. And that is all. Thank you guys so much again for watching this video, and as always, thank you guys so much for being the absolute best bookish bestie that ever was, is, or ever will be. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye!